Welcome back to the InherAlchemist TV. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look into Martell Holt versus Marcel Scott. So before we get started, please like the video, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and that you have your notification bells on. So I actually have two spreads. So we're going to be doing two readings in one, or two miniature readings in one. You know what? I see that the beef, quote unquote, between them is still going on, and I just got inspired to look and see who really is the hog with the biggest nuts. We got people that are team Marcel, can't see no wrong. We have people that are team Martell, can't see no wrong and want to take care of him, baby him. He pulls on their maternal instincts with all of his blunders and fumbles, right? It's kind of hard to watch, but I wanted to see what really is the energy that's going on, right? I've watched the show, and I've been vocal on my community wall in the past. The way that I see it is that when the show started, Marcel and Letitia Scott were taking digs at Melody and Martell. They would say things like, nobody wants to be married to Melody. If they like it, I love it. They would undermine Martell's business acumen. And they would do this under the guise of humor, but they were definitely taking shots. There would be little sarcastic comments. Tisha came in with her entire family. She had Marcel, she had Kimmy and Maurice. She also had Wanda. And they all kind of worked together to be Team Scotts, just as Melody and Martell were Team Holtz. But the Holtz were still giving them that work, whether you like it or not. And they only got conquered when they were divided. So it's divide and conquer. And the Scotts pretty much stuck together. We saw Tisha struggling to get Kimmy on board. Every time Kimmy tried to maintain an independent relationship with Melody, Tisha would have some type of temper tantrum and talk about how family's supposed to stick together. You supposed to have my back, and all the tears and, all this hiding behind this facade of being slow and dumb and slow to speech, slow with her speech. And really what she was doing was secretly dominating her entire circle, whether it be her husband, Kimmy as her sister-in-law, etc. I don't think her and Maurice have that close of a relationship. I think that he watches out for her as his brother's wife, but I don't feel any chemistry between them, should I say. So anyway, I've always maintained that it's the Scotts versus the Holtz. And observing the Holtz, they did not do that to those people. They didn't make underhanded remarks. They didn't undermine their talents or their business acumen. Whatever they did say, they did it on camera, on screen, in a head-to-head confrontation. And maybe they suffered a little bit for that strategy. I don't know, but that's what I've seen. So I've seen the beef be pretty much, brewing the entire show. I don't feel like this is anything new. Marcel, what's his name? He has been consistently dirty macking Martell, just being involved in his relationship, even in times where he was called to restrain Martell or to so-called mediate the situation. But then on the side, you see him laughing and joking about Martell's actions. That's like playing double sides. So no, I'm not a big fan of Marcel because I see him from a mile away. He's a dirty macking, sleazy type friend who picks up his friends' leftovers by talking to their girls in the background. I've had guys' friends do this to me, where they, try to, talk to you, create a relationship with you on the side. It's just dirty macking at its finest. So that's my perception of it. I didn't see the hosts do anything to them. Now, could we get into, hold on one second. Now, could we get into the whole social media and blogger thing with Melody? We could hold her responsible for having people to skew narratives about the Scotts and damage their reputations and their business and creating toxic fandoms. We could, but do we even know that she was initially responsible for that? It's been my perception that it was actually her manager as a form of getting her visibility, as a form of putting her on or making her a household name, utilize the social media strategy to increase Melody's popularity. Because we all know that she was not exactly the fan favorite in season 1. Now, that's where I preferred her. But for the majority of women, they didn't resonate with her strength in season 1. They gravitated towards her when she was taken down a peg, right? And listen, Melody is emotionally intelligent. Like I said, she's emotional, she's empathic, she's intuitive, and she was able to pick up on the cues of social media through comment sections, Facebook groups, interacting with people and understand what it is they did not like about her, and kind of mold her persona into something more palatable. So she did what was necessary. Period. Point blank. You have to respect it in some way. Is it real? It doesn't matter. This is television and television production, right? So those things were going on. But it's been my opinion that her manager or her team utilize social media, utilize bloggers, utilize YouTube channels, quote unquote, to skew the narrative about her, to change their perception about her. Melody may not have even known about this initially. You know, she may have really believed that she was winning people over or that she was successful, but it's no different than people going through coaching when they're modeling, when they're public speaking, when they're running for president. They get trained in how to handle themselves in social media. They get trained in how to master their persona, their perception. That's putting work in yourself. And if she found the formula, you can't really be mad at that. You can't really be mad at that. Now, did it get nefarious along the way? Sure it did. Because like I said, I think that Melody is impressionable. And I think that there are a lot of women, older women, with ill intentions for personal gain, for getting close to a celebrity that harvest her energy and changed her. Change the purity of what she's doing, because there is nothing diabolical about being ambitious, being willing to compete, and doing what it takes to have a winning formula. That's not diabolical. What's diabolical is getting into the spirit of paranoia, the misuse of spirituality, and doing things by any means necessary. That's when it gets wicked. So that's my opinion thus far. That's how I've come to what I've come to about it. And you guys are welcome to, combat that in the comments. I love a healthy debate with intellectual women that are not so emotionally caught up. You guys already know I'm not here for the insults per se, but the conversation, a healthy conversation can't hurt anybody. So opinions aside, right? Because there's a difference between an opinion and a tarot reading, and I'm very capable of separating the two. So opinions aside, we're going to do a reading, and we're just going to look at Martell, and we're going to look at Marceau, and we're going to look at where each of these men are in life in general, and what energy they're in right now, and what's really, how's this really going to fare out? You know what I mean? What's really going on? So I have two different spreads pulled, and let's go ahead and jump right in. I think I want to start with Martell, only because I've recently done a reading on Marceau and Letitia. I did a couples reading. When I go into the couples reading, whoever steps up to the plate, that's the perspective that I use. You know what I mean? So if the first card that I pull is masculine energy, then that's the perspective of the person in the reading. If it's feminine energy, then we'll do it that way. So that's pretty much how I do that. And Marceau was at the center focus of that last reading. All right, so we're good, right? Let's go ahead and jump right in. So Martell, the consummate, I don't know, the consummate boyfriend, right? He's opening up with the Two of Cups, and that Two of Cups is clarified by the Six of Swords, and then above him I have the Queen of Swords, which is in reverse, and below him I have the Page of Cups. I wanted to mention that Queen of Swords in reverse right away, because that does represent an ex-wife energy. So I definitely know that Melody's energy is present in the spread. I don't think the hosts are as estranged as we believe. I do believe that they work together, because who would do things to actively tear each other down when they have 4 kids to raise together? I'm not saying they're in love. I'm saying that they help each other. Put it that way. And we know that Martell is very codependent on Melody, and Melody is also codependent on solving problems for Martell or getting him out of jams. So that's what I've noticed her role to be. And this is out of her own mouth, so argue with yourself, okay? So the Two of Cups, this represents the union. It represents a relationship. And I don't know what it is, because we're not even in a retrograde, but there's a flood of emotions or feelings coming back around regarding the marriage or the relationship between Melody and Martell. Why? Because the Queen of Swords is here next to the Two of Cups. This represents the ex-wife, and it is a bitter ex-wife. Maybe not in the best or most positives of energies, but it's still surrounding this relationship, and it still highlights the bond that they have with each other, and the need for some type of collective healing. It's no longer about them healing individually. I don't know if they've tried counseling as parents. I know they may have seen therapists when they were couples, but just as friends and as parents, this may signify a need to get into a co-parenting counseling. I don't even know if that's a thing. I know that they're portrayed as mortal enemies in social media, but they got a long way to go. This Two of Cups has the Cassidus here. That's the doctor symbol or the medical symbol, and they have 2 cups. So this represents to me the healing of the emotion and the need for someone to reach out and to soften the blows, and also for someone on the other side to be receptive in that. Like I said, this is not about love. This is not about sex and passion, maybe as it has been in the future. This is about healing and camaraderie and partnership with this Two of Cups. And dare I say, a friendship. Do we see a possible friendship emerging between Melody and Martell in the future? Now, that is clarified by the Six of Swords, and the Six of Swords is in reverse. Now, the Six of Swords is generally a card of travel, of moving forward, but as we can see, it's in reverse. So that means we're stuck, we're trapped. But it also is saying we're trapped and stuck by an actual geographical location. And immediately I got the sensation when the cards came out is that they're not going to make it in Huntsville. You know what I mean? It's like a desire or a need for them to relocate. Maybe together, maybe not. I'm not forcing them together. I'm just saying that a prophet isn't respected in his hometown. It's kind of giving me that vibe from the perspective of y'all need to pack up y'all shit, all 6 of y'all, and go to North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Texas. I don't know. Stay away from Texas, because it's about to be a war with the cartel. I mean, listen, Texas is beautiful, but I wouldn't want to be nowhere near Texas when this new administration starts. But anyways, the case in point that I'm trying to make is that there's a spirit over Huntsville that is very damaging to this couple. And again, I'm only talking about Melody and Martell because it's here. I'm not putting them together, right? She's here as an ex, but this is what came out in the reading, in his reading, so I have to talk about it. But anyways, there's the old wound, the wounding that happened there, the pain that happened there is still very visceral, and there's a sense of trying to move on from that pain with the Six of Swords in reverse and the Two of Cups uprights, but not being able to get beyond those old wounds. They're hurting. Martell is still hurting. There's deep damages that happened here, and part of the hurt that both of them are unable to get past, quote unquote, has to do with them being stuck or them being planted there, right? So there is no reprieve, there is no rest, there is no change in energy. You know what I mean? Like I said, sometimes a prophet has to move into another town in order to shift the trajectory or the energy, if you will. There's some circumstances that prevent that from happening, though. There's circumstances that prevent them from leaving, and the timing is not right? I think the timing is not right, because I don't feel that either one of them are confronting the quote unquote pain. I don't think they're confronting the regret or the mistakes that they've made. I won't call it arrogance, because sometimes people really believe that they're doing their best. And I personally believe that everybody is doing their personal best with what they have at that time. When you knew better, you do better. When you learn more, you make different choices. But we're all doing our personal best, right? That's why judgment should not even be a thing. Unless, you've done something to hurt somebody. But this is saying that the universe has strategically or purposely kept them from being able to leave Huntsville, because they're not confronting the pain of their situation or the regrets of their situation. They're not resolving it. You know what I mean? So you see how their refusal to resolve something or bring closure to their relationship manifests in physical form as them being stuck in a physical place of pain, right? You see how that shit works? You see how these universal energies, I don't know. They come together so beautifully when you understand them, because it starts in the background. It starts in the spiritual, and then it manifests in the physical, right? Yeah. So like I said, there's a need for karma to play out, in the form of resolution. Right? The karma is because you refuse the closure, because you engage in the, tit for tat or whatever it is that you're doing, you're actually blocking yourself, right? So there's not an opportunity for him to move on from his thoughts of this relationship, and he's hurting. He's hurting in this moment. I don't know if he gets triggered though, because when you're hurting from a broken heart, it's not like you're walking around crying. But it seems to me like there's certain situations or circumstances that come up that trigger some sort of emotional instability. The Page of Cups is here in reverse. This is manipulative energy. It's emotional stability. But it also represents, to me, I'm getting a sadness from a young child, a girl child. You know what I mean? So maybe there's some heartbreak in the eyes of one of his children that triggers some type of emotion that regresses him. And I won't even say regresses. I will say bring that hidden pain up to the surface. It could be something like that. I know that, like I said, I feel like he's close to one of his girl children. I've seen that in previous readings. And I don't know. There's something about one of the girl children. There's a grief associated with it, though. I don't know what that is about. We have the Queen of Swords. The below is the relationship with the child, or like I said, emotional instability, but the above is the Queen of Swords. You know what I mean? So what's moving in the background, the silent influences create the perception of the crowning energy, which is the above. So we have the Queen of Swords in reverse, and this represents Melody, because the Queen of Swords is the ex-wife, but it represents a sort of elitism. And I don't want to say necessarily someone thinking they're better, but someone thinking that it's how do I put this? It's almost like when someone feels that you should be punished to a degree greater than they are saying that their actions or their moral high ground is superior to yours, and therefore your judgment should be more severe than theirs. So that's the antithesis of God and godlike energy, right? Especially when you go with the theme of Jesus dying on the cross for our sins, and God wants the sinners and the saints and all things like that. This energy is saying that in her mind, she feels morally elite or morally superior to Martell. You know what I mean? And there's a moral snobbery as far as her relationship with God or with spirituality or any perceived favor. She's a spiritual snob. Where did that come from? I've literally never said that in my life. She's a spiritual snob. And that creates that blockage as well for her. being unable to move, right? You need to come off of it. You need to come off of it. A lot of people will call this an ego trip. It's not an ego per se. The ego is just, the ego to me is your guard. I've done a lot of ego work. When I decided to really go deep into spirituality, I had to go through, the cliche term would be like an ego death, but it wasn't an ego death. It was a relinquishing of your ego altogether. And for me, the way that my ego would play out was that I would be, like I've mentioned, above the fray. I wouldn't give people access to my emotions or my heart or my feelings. They could come close. They could be treated kindly. They could be treated warmly. But the spirit of love, I don't know. I just didn't have that. You know what I mean? I was just intellectual about everything. I just didn't feel per se. And through my ego work, I learned that I was compartmentalizing everything and intellectualizing everything because I wasn't strong enough to feel pain. You know what I mean? I thought that pain would take me out. And I believe that it would have at that time. You know, I was a single mother raising my kids. My mom had passed away. My dad passed away. My baby brothers passed away. Listen, if I had taken the time to absorb any pain, I probably would have been taken out. You know what I mean? I very well believe I probably had a nervous breakdown. I probably didn't acknowledge it as such. But yeah, the thought of acknowledging all of the pain that I've had in life, no. Hell to the nah. Hell to the no. But I'm grateful to have grown past that and to have gone through that process. And it was bad. I mean, when I tell you guys, like, crying, screaming, shouting, anger at my kids, snapping, short-tempered, and it was just all of this buried, like, it was madness, and it was just all coming out. And I saw myself, and I'll have conversations with my kids. I'm like, you guys, I'm sorry I'm short with you, because I'm a very patient woman. You know what I mean? I'm very patient, very calm, very loving. And so for people to see me in like a consistent agitated energy is foreign. My kids' feelings was so hurt. But I had to let them understand that, that I was purging, like I was really purging. And now I'm kind of like back, you know what I mean? To like my calm, loving spirit. This was like a couple years ago. It's not new or nothing, but I'm just telling you guys how it happens. Anyways, let's get back. I say that to say that because Melody feels more morally superior to Martell, it keeps her from coming down to the level of even wanting to have that conversation or feeling that he's worthy of sharing space with her, or worthy. You know what? This is going on. This supposed to be about Marceau and Martell. I'm in Martell's spread. I ain't even started on Marceau, and all this energy is about Melody. So I may have to switch up. The concept, you guys, because I'm only 2 cards into Martell spread, and I'm still here. Anyways, I say that to say if it goes on too long, we'll have to do Marceau and Martell's in a separate spread, because I feel like this is an important message. So because of that, because she refuses to sit with him, so to speak, because of her, belief in her moral high ground, it's keeping them from coming together and confronting and resolving the pain and the regret that they have over the quote unquote relationship, right? This is not out of hurt, right? Because you guys think that every move that a woman makes is because she's bitter and hurt. The Queen of Swords is bitter, don't get me wrong, but this is not hurt. This is elitism. This is snobbery. This is being snubbed. This is somebody turning up their nose at you. And that's a little bit different, right? So she refuses to acknowledge him, communicate with him, bring closure to the situation, because she thinks that she's too good for that. That's what it is. But this spread is saying, and that's exactly the reason why you guys are both anchored to the physical location of Huntsville, to the pain of the situation, etc. That's what it is. The Queen of Swords, she can be cruel. She can be very mean, and she can be very malicious. But again, that's a further interpretation of snobbery. Snobbery comes out in many ways. Like I said, for me, it was acting like you don't exist. Like, you talking about the dust off your shoulder, like, you know, like that. That was my snobbery. For her, it's evilness. It's, you know, it's you are below being treated with any level of dignity and humanity. You know what I mean? So one is not better than the other. Everybody's shit just plays out differently. That's just the truth of the matter, or how it works. There's a vengeance streak, but the vengeance streak that she has comes from an entitlement, and the entitlement is to show you why you were never good enough to affect me, because I am morally or spiritually superior than you, right? So yeah, there's vengeance here, right? There's pride, there's spite, but there's also a kind of narrow-mindedness as well, and only seeing things one way and refusing to look at things from different angles, and almost being focused on fucking with you because I can. You know, when I get a whim or inspiration or a vibe, I will spite you just to tickle myself. I don't behold you as a human being. I don't see you as a person. I see you as an object of whatever it is I want to feel in that moment, right? This is a very negative interpretation of a Queen of Swords, because it's petty. It's petty. It's someone acting maliciously and acting out their pettiness. It's someone who's holding a grudge, and the grudge has to do with things from decades ago, centuries ago, years ago. But again, I feel that it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because they're both stuck in the past. They're both stuck in the past, and I don't know. It's like maybe they generated so much power in as a couple in the past that I feel like almost like, this is a weird concept, right? But I'm getting this vibe of almost like they spiritually regress to the time they had the most power and strength as a couple, and they draw on who and what they were at that plateau or height of their lives, and they use the attitudinal power from that time period to the present now against each other. Weird shit, right? Weird shit. Listen, if you get that, if you understand that, let me know down in the comments. Just say I get it, or, you know, put a 1, or understand it, because it's like I'm working out the concept while I'm doing the reading. Really meditated on it, but it's just coming out in real time. It's coming out in real time. Yeah, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. There's something political too about the Queen of Swords too. I don't know if Melody was like trying to get into politics, but this is saying that she may have lost some opportunity to get some type of political power, or maybe she was going for some type of office or something, but maybe the quality of her life has had a negative influence. Yeah, because this is like, I don't know, maybe this is like political ambitions, but that did not come to fruition, or are not coming to fruition, like they went off the course at some point or somewhere. So I don't know if that's a source of bitterness as well, that her dream at entering politics was intercepted or shortcutted. Maybe that has something to do with Martell. I'm not sure, but it is here, and I think that's the first I've ever seen. I know that she's friends with Hill Harper, but I've never seen her having political ambitions in her tarot spread. So interesting stuff. Now, Martell, or I don't want to say Martell because I don't know whose energy this is, but there's another woman here. There's another woman here, and the energy is in reverse. And again, we have the Queen of Swords also in reverse. So all of the Queen energy in reverse is a negative interpretation on feminine energy, the way we wield it. You know, our access to our intuition. We got the High Priestess here. That's another female figure. But that's with the Eight of Wands. I think that's just in regards to some secrets being exposed. And I think it alludes to maybe like a greater plan that Martell has. I'm going to get to that soon. but the Queen of Cups is in reverse, right? This is saying that there's a woman in Martell's energy that is pretending to be his friend. Is this destiny? Oh my God, wait a minute. Because the Queen of Cups is light-skinned woman. Wait a minute. Because when the Queen of Cups is in reverse, she has, the Queen of Cups is emotionally supportive, right? We're tender, because I'm the Queen of Cups upright. Of course, upright. No, I'm just playing. But we're warm, right? We're warm, we're tender. Think of a Cancer, like a Cancer. But this is reverse. And so when it's in reverse, it's saying that you're using that warm and tender energy. Oh my God. Oh my God, you guys. I was just in the zone on the road, happened to glance over at my microphone and saw that it was off. So that's that's what you guys hear with the sound quality. I did go play it back, and I know it's different or not as good as it was, but it's doable for that however long that was going on. I don't even know how long it was going on. But I was capturing really good energy, so I didn't want to redo it. So bear with it, and it'll get back. We should be back. But anyways, what I was describing was someone who is tender and warm and friendly towards someone, but only to manipulate them. Now, I haven't got to Destiny's reading yet because I am going to be doing Destiny. And, the theme of her reading was going to be, is Mental Mondays working? But I find it interesting that her energy infiltrated this reading in my mind, or in my supposition, because I was literally going to do her next. But I'm wondering if she's this person that is feigning a friendship, not feigning, but having this warm camaraderie with Martell in order to manipulate him. And what is she manipulating him for? Is it for his influence? Is it for her access to the show? Now, a lot of people say, well, Martell ain't got no storyline. Nobody has a storyline. Martell may not have had a storyline, but he clearly has created a storyline with the Scotts. He has them fully engaged in a storyline, whether with or without their permission, right? Bringing it up, maybe that's why Letitia exited the table, because she doesn't want to help him with that storyline or be a part of that storyline or allow that storyline to develop. But Martell has enough relationships and connections to be supported in those conversations, and Destiny might be a key person to that. So he has a storyline. He definitely has a storyline, and it's gonna be the Scotts. Let's talk about it, right? But the Queen of Cups represents a close friend that is lying to you about something or deceiving you about something. Somebody that you trust, a woman that you trust, but that is only trustworthy to you in order to manipulate you in or out of something. Baby, that is just terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. It is a dirty game in Huntsville. It is really a dirty game. All right, I'm going to progress this a little bit forward. The Two of Pentacles here with the King of Pentacles in reverse. This is financial problems. Like I said, this came up in Martell and Ariane's reading, this juggling. Like I said, he's juggling the force of that whole family with the 4 kids and the wife, and then singledom. You know what I mean? There's some juggling there between those two forces. And it's getting costly. King of Pentacles in reverse. Money issues. All right. External environment. We have the High Priestess with the 8 of Wands. So this is like some secrets that are being revealed, but the secrets that are quote unquote being revealed or coming out are actually going to be the key to Martell's success in something. The 3 of Wands is here in reverse, so there's definitely some plans, but it's saying that once this plot, and they are secretly plotting, once it comes to full, what do you call it? Like, fruition, right? And it is being accelerated. It's being fast tracked. It's aiming. Once this dagger hits in the chest, then it's gonna hit the way it's supposed to hit. And I don't know if Melody is going to come in and fine tune that, fine tune his angles. I don't know if she gonna drop him a secret DM with some information. Somebody's dropping off some secret information through a DM or through a text message. Give a dog a bone, if you will. Right? Again, I don't see her as wanting to see her family as a whole fail, but I do see her feeling better than Martell per se. So it may not be any close action, but I do see her as maybe like a secret, bitter, resentful ally. You know what I mean? I hate that I love you type energy, right? But we're not talking about romance, okay? So keep it, keep it separate. But Martell has a goal, and the Eight of Wands here is saying that is being fast tracked. So we're not gonna have to wait really long to see how these things play out. Something is forthcoming. Something's gonna be revealed. Again, High Priestess, Eight of Wands. I think that somebody's gonna drop some anonymous information. Like I said, I think that's gonna come through a text, an email, a DM, and it's gonna come from an anonymous source or some type of anonymous woman. Or he could already be in the talks with her. I saw a lot of overseas in Marcel's spread. I don't know how that goes. All right, so let's close out the reading with the Three of Wands in reverse. Three of Wands in reverse, to me, poor Marty, because he just botches everything. Here you got your plans being fast tracked. You got secret information coming through the DMs. You getting everything that you need to put this shit where it needs to be, and then you have an oversight, or you're careless, or you're moving too fast, or instead of you trying to figure out how to strategically coordinate this information, you just move on emotions and you make a fucking careless decision, and it just doesn't play out. Now the Three of Wands is a business card. All Wands energy is about business and employment. So this could be related to some type of project that he has, or something that he's trying to pull off or submit or get to happen, but you're not reviewing the details before you're putting it out. And so through your carelessness, your plan, quote unquote, you miss something. You always miss something. Right? Because you're not careful, because you're not meticulous, because you're not detailed, you cause more difficulties and you complicate things. Right? He complicates things because he's not a details man. And that's just what it has to do with the Three of Wands in reverse. And so it causes setbacks to your business, your projects, your profits. And this is not laziness. Excuse me. This is not an unwillingness of you to do things. This is you actually putting in a lot of effort. This is actually you putting in a lot of work, but things not ever going as you planned them because you don't pay attention to detail. You know what I mean? I didn't pay attention to detail for a while, so I get that. But it's really a discipline thing. You know what I mean? And I think that just sometimes as a culture, we do lack discipline. And I think that has to do with the lack of males in our household sometimes. I always say interpersonal issues are mommy issues. Issues getting along with people, issues with your man, issues with your friend. That's from having poor relationships with your mother. But issues with not finding yourself, not speaking up for yourself, being taken advantage of, not being consistent, not having discipline and persistence. That to me is daddy issues, right? So whatever project Martell has, it looks like there's a separate project somewhere. I don't know, but it's commercial, so I don't know if he's trying to sell something, or I'm not sure. But there's a lot of disappointment there because he's missed ripe opportunities. He's missed the moment. The moment has been here many times. But I feel like, the Three of Wands in reverse is also about you not having a support, or cooperation from other people to do what you need to do. You know what I mean? So maybe he's discouraged by that. going into business is a solitary mission and feeling. You know what it is? It's, we have people who do e-commerce, people sell digital items, people white label, slap stickers on things. That's totally different than going into something that's based on knowledge, passion, expertise, and actual investment. You know what I mean? But now it's like everything is quick and it's like a hustle. But that's different than something you put all of your blood, sweat, and tears in. You know what I mean? And success is a formula. You can have everything right, and if you don't have the visibility, the marketing, then no one will ever hear from you. So Martell, he's having to do this by himself, and he can't. He's been so reliant on others for help. You know what I mean? And he's trying to enter a competitive field. But it's almost like money is an issue, or people are an issue, or time is an issue. Competition is an issue in the marketplace. And it's just creating a lot of obstacles. You know what I mean? It's a lot of things getting in the way of him getting something, whatever that may be, off the ground. So listen, like I said, I didn't expect Martell to hog up this much energy. I fully intended to do both of their spreads. I still have Marceau's spread on the table. I'm gonna take a picture of it, and we'll revisit it. If the spirit moves me. All right, listen. Let me know what you guys think of this reading. A lot of different themes and concepts came up. I'm very proud of it. But I want to know what you guys think as well. So let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. Okay? Subscribe to this channel. And, turn your notification bells on so that you know when I'm going live. I'm typically doing morning uploads. But I don't know. Things change. If you have your notification bells on, though, you will not miss me. Okay? All right. Talk to you guys soon.